guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. We're here with our free Christmas papers as my kind of little Merry Christmas gift to you guys. And I thought what we could do is do 1 or 2 projects with them for anyone who would like some things to do over the Christmas period. So obviously these are the pages. Now you get 6 pages, and although that doesn't sound very many, I'm hoping that the way that I have done them will give you quite a bit of scope in how to use them. So the first page that you've got is, and this is in no order by the way, you've got this one with kind of tickets. Now they're all kind of pinky shades and things like that, but you've got then lots of things to play with. Then you've got this gorgeous kind of quite a grungy looking background page. And it's in a kind of maroony, browny kind of shade with some pinky bits in. Then you've got this one here, which combination of the sheet music and what have you. Then you have this one here with just some mottled kind of pink. This one here with some flowers and things like that, and they're layered over the tickets and things. And then you have this one, which has got a few little pictures and things that you could cut out to use for layering and tags and snippet rolls and things like that. So these have all been printed on just normal copy paper. But what I've also done is I've just printed off the 2 pages with like the tickets and these elements onto some thicker cardstock. So excuse the back of that, that's obviously where I've been trying to get my printables, you know, right. So these have got, you know, lots of little pictures for you to actually use on snippet rolls and tags and things like that. And then exactly the same here with the tags. So you could cut out the tickets, you could cut out the tickets and use them as individual elements, as well as obviously using these as, you know, actual background pages in your projects as well. So what I thought we could do is make a little kind of foldy. Now I'm not sure yet which way this is going to go, but like a folio-y booky type thing. So what I've got here, this is the remainder of like a sort of pamphlet that I've had in my stash for a while. Obviously, as you can see, I've used the front image from it, but what I'm going to do is it's in, you know, stapled in the middle. So I'm going to take like 2 pages from that middle bit. Now I probably should be a little bit less shoddy, and I should probably actually undo those staples. So I'm just having a quick look in my drawer where I think I do have one of those staple remover things. Of course now I'm not going to be able to find it in time for doing the video. Oh, here we go. I knew it was in there somewhere. So I'm just going to undo my staples. Now, of course, you don't have to have a little brochure like this. You could use, you know, pages from a book or anything else, to be honest. I'm just using this because, you know, then it gets it out of my way, and I thought it would be quite a good size. So again, I'm going to just take the first kind of 2 pages, and then what I'm going to do is glue these together. So that's those 2, and then the next 2, again, just kind of tear those out. Oops, trying to keep them together. There we go, and there was a loose sheet floating about in there as well. So let's just get rid of that. I'm going to be really good and bin that, except for the back sheet, which of course I could use for, you know, backing tags and things like that. Right, so in the first instance, what I'm going to do is glue this together so that it, you know, just holds together basically. So not paying any attention at all to how that's gluing. Just want to get it stuck down. So again, get my glue spreader. Spread my glue. Okie dokie. Just wipe that up a little bit. Okie dokie. Right. that's that page, and then, oops, sorry, just trying to get my mat. It was just kind of balancing on something. Right. And the next one, again, just, you know, roughly put that glue around. And again, just spread the glue like that. Okay, so that's my first kind of, you know, piece. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same then with the other 2 pages that I cut out, or, you know, tore out. So exactly the same. Like that. Okey-dokey. Again, just kind of squish them down with the glue spreader. Okie dokie. Right. Let's just mop up the glue, and then the front as well. Oops. Like that. Okie dokie. Right, spread that out now as well. Like that. Okie dokie. Right, just mop up that glue. Right, now what we're going to do here is we want to kind of make a little foldy out piece. So we've got our kind of 2 layers and what we want to do is just kind of tuck them in to one another like that, to just make our little foldy out kind of, you know, beginnings of our folio. So all I'm going to do is just glue this piece down onto this piece. So just apply my glue around the edge like that. I've left the top open so the top could be a pocket if we'd like it to be. Now I'm going to come unstuck because I've just realised I should have stitched around that first, because I didn't really go very close to the edges with the glue. So of course now I'm going to have a problem because I may have bits here not really glued down. And of course I can't stitch it down now. Okay. So that's what I'm left with now, is basically a kind of opening trifold. So just then glue that all down like that. Okay, right, so doesn't matter at all which way round I have that. So let's just, you know, use this side first. And all I'm going to do is cover with some of the papers. So I'm really not going to, you know, take a whole bunch of time kind of picking which papers I'm using. I'm just going to literally, you know, pop them on here. Now, just wondering whether I want to kind of have them on completely or whether we want to do some sort of collage-y type effect. Oh, I can't decide now. I mean, if we have it like that, and that would then tuck into here. Oh, let's just do that. Right, okay, so I'm just going to fold this in. Okie dokie. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this down onto the front, or what I'm calling the front anyway. So glue it down along the edges. Whoops. And I am going to go around this on the sewing machine. So, but obviously if you're not going to go around it on the sewing machine, that's fine too. You just need to make sure you're going a little bit closer to the edges. Okay. So let me just wipe up my excess glue. Okie doke. Okay, right, so that's that piece. Again, just catch that glue and just down there, down here. Okay, right. That's my first bit, and then I want to go inside here and then glue this section on here. So like that. Okay, so I have a lot of glue going on this piece. It's very soggy already. So I might have to actually just leave this to dry for a bit, but okay. Oops. And then just, again, just wipe out any glue that's come out. Okay, so that's that section. And then just going to glue the other part. So I need to just get my glue off before it's all completely stuck together. Okay, so then I'm going to put my next sheet in. Now, again, I mean, I'm just randomly picking this as according to what's come out borderless and what hasn't. Just because that's probably the, you know, quickest way to do this. So just going to have a look and see, do I want to put that there? And then we just have those inside pages to go. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to glue this down. Again, onto here. Like that. I mean, literally, I'm just having a good, you know, covering basically of the book pages. Okay. And this one, to be honest, I might want to just fold in a little bit more. I'll have a look in a second. So again, just spread that with the glue spreader. Okie dokie, right. Let's just open that out. So can you see there, it just wants to come in a fraction because it's actually quite, you know, overhanging. So let me just get rid of that glue. And then I'm just going to come over slightly more. Okay. That's fine. Right, so get my this page glued down. Okie dokie. Okay, and okay, mop that up. Right, I have glue everywhere, seeping out everywhere here, but that's fine. You can just obviously wipe that up a little bit like that. Right, now all I'm going to do here is obviously on the edge here, I've just got some overhanging. So I just want to trim that off down that edge. So just press that down like that. And then I'm just going to trim that edge up. Like that. Okay. And then I just want to cover this inner section with some other paper. So again, I've got those tickets, or you know, the ticket page, and again, that's just going to fit really nicely into there. So again, I'm just going to fold that in half. Okie dokie, and then we're just going to glue that down. Whoa! Went a bit too close to the edge there, went completely over. completely over the edge. Right, so put that like that. Okie dokie. And a bit more. Okay, right, so spread that glue really well, and again just mop up the excess, and again from along the top. Hopefully that's gluing down now. And then I just want to stick the final page on, which of course is this page here. Like that. And I mean, obviously you can print these pages as much as you like. So, you know, if you want to have them all matching for your folio, you could just print off, you know, however many you need for your size of book page, so that your whole, you know, your whole lot of pages are the same. You know, you don't have to mix and match like I have. You can just please yourself. I just thought the variety might be quite fun here, so right. Okie dokie. Right, now I'm just going to trim off any excess here. So again, I've just got a little bit of excess down this side. So we're just cut along there. Like that. Whoops. Oh, come on. Okie dokie. And then I just have a little bit of excess here as well. So just trim that down. Like that. Okay, right. And then I'm just going to take this now across to the sewing machine. Again, this is an optional stage. You really don't have to stitch yours at all. You know, this is absolutely fine, just glued. I just thought the stitching looks pretty, but, you know, please don't in any way think you have to sew. You really, really don't. You know, it looks more than nice enough, just glued down. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch around there. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine and I've just literally stitched all around kind of the edges, obviously leaving this top part, which I suspect I've now glued together. Ah, this is just, yeah. Okay, so my top part that's there, need to cut some of my threads. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, I would have waited for this to dry because, as you can probably see, it is super soggy because there's a lot of glue on here. So, yeah, it's probably not ideal. And, yeah, in an ideal world, I would definitely recommend leaving it to dry for a bit, because I did actually tear some of the paper slightly where it was so soggy once it was going through the machine. But, you know, that's fine, because hopefully once we've kind of done, you know, the whole of this, you're not really going to kind of notice those types of things. So that's my kind of foundation piece. And what I thought we'd do now is I'm just going to pull in my piece that I have now done on the thicker paper. And this lady here I thought would be absolutely awesome as a centerpiece. So I'm just going to cut her out. Like that. Okey-dokey. Okay. Right, tried to leave the edge in case there were any flowers or anything I could cut out from that edge piece. So she looks great on there, doesn't she? I'm just going to rough her up a little bit. she looks really nice. Now, I've brought over my gesso as well, because I thought what we could do is just apply a bit of gesso onto this paper. Now, as you know, this is not my area of expertise at all. I really do need to play around with gesso and, you know, those types of things much more. So, you know, please do not take my methods as the way to do it. All I'm going to do is just spray a little bit of water, I think, actually on my brush, because that might make the gesso a little bit easier to work with. So as if my piece wasn't soggy enough, I'm now just going to go over it with some gesso as well. So, and then I might just even dry it a little bit with the heat tool, because it's really getting very, very soggy indeed. Okie dokie. And then just a bit down here. Okay, right. It might be okay, to be honest, not being, you know, heat tooled. Okay, that's that piece. And then, I wonder if I could do the back. Let's do the back as well. Again, I'll just spray that water direct onto that gesso. That's probably not what you're supposed to do. But like I say, I'm really very inexperienced with these types of things. So, you know, just kind of experimenting about, really. And, you know, all advice from people with much more experience in using these mixed media things, honestly, much appreciated, because, you know, we only really learn by kind of obviously sharing our tips and tricks and things like that, don't we? So, okay. So just want to put that around there. But again, you know, you do not have to be doing this. If you don't have gesso, if you don't want to do the gesso, if you haven't got any or don't want to do it, you do not need it. I am just, you know, merely kind of playing around, really. I might just do it all over, because then it's kind of done then, and the whole thing then has got like a more uniform appearance. So I'm just going to go down and around some of the other pages. Like that. Okie dokie. And if you're thinking this looks really white, I'm going to obviously distress ink all of this. I did not coffee dye any of these papers. So again, I suspect that they would actually coffee dye really, really well. So, you know, I think this would look, or, you know, these papers would look really good coffee dyed. So yeah, just letting you know that I have not done that, but I suspect they would look really good for being coffee dyed. I know I've said this before, but I mean, it's a little bit messy and involved trying to coffee dye in the winter. So I like to kind of coffee dye as much as I can during the summer. And then of course what happens is I don't then want to use the coffee dyed paper to print on, because, you know, I don't want to go into my stash. So yeah, I've just printed this on uncoffee dyed paper. Right, that's that. And then I'm going to just turn it over and do exactly the same on these two pages. So I'll probably need a little bit more gesso, and then I can probably take the gesso off my desk. So put that down, out of the way. Just grab a bit more water. This was just a little tip that I saw Barbara from 49 Dragonflies, when she was using gesso. I noticed that she was kind of wetting her brush, and she found it went on a lot more easily. So, you know, that's kind of where I've picked that up from. But like I say, you know, I really am very inexperienced with these types of things. So I need a lot more practice. Please do not think that I am by any means doing this in the correct way. I mean, whether or not there is a correct way, I've no idea. But, well, I mean, there probably is. But yeah, I I obviously don't know what it is I guess what I'm meaning. So, okay. Okie dokie, right, so hopefully that's just kind of toned my edges down a little bit. Let me put this to one side now so that when I go downstairs I remember to wash my brush out, because I'm not really great at doing that. Okay, I'm just going to get a wipe and just wipe down my messy mat now. Okay. Okie dokie. So what I'm going to do is obviously layer that front piece up on some book page, I think. So obviously the book page is not included in the free papers, but hopefully most of us have got plenty of book pages that we can utilise. So, okay. Right, now I was going to use this as the front cover, wasn't I? So we've got her. I mean, she just looks lovely on there just as she is, doesn't she? And got some book page. Okay, let's just glue her down onto the book page. Again, I'm kind of thinking she would benefit from being stitched. So I might have to take her quickly back over to the sewing machine and just stitch her down to here. So okay. And then I'm just going to trim around her, just leaving a kind of border there for the book page. Like that. Now I probably want to rough that up a little bit as well, like I did around her, you know, herself. So just don't want to go too mad, because otherwise I of course tear the book page to bits. Don't mind tearing it a little bit, but this is quite fragile and it would tear completely if I'm not too careful. So there we go. So she looks lovely, doesn't she? Now, just wondering whether I could take any of the flowers from this background page down there. Okay. Cut this one out. So I hope everyone's having a really lovely day. Hope you've had a nice Christmas morning so far. Okay. I think one of my missions for the new year is to do a bit more mixed media stuff. I've been giving it a bit of thought, sort of, you know, stuff for the new year. So, yeah, I think that might be one of those things. Might be something for the new year. Okay, let me just get rid of this. Oops, get rid of that stem as well. Okay, so that flower looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Now I'm wondering if she needs to go on to something, like some fabric or something. Kind of some sort of soft net would be quite good. Let me just see. Just having a quick look in my cupboard beside me. Oops. It's just a case of finding a bit that's quite suitable. Okay, so I'm wondering if I could just have a little bit of lace coming out there. So I think what I'm going to do is just stitch this on the sewing machine first, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine and I've just literally stitched around her. So I'm going to ink her up. I want this hopefully to look quite grungy when it's finished. So definitely she needs inking. Okie dokie. Yeah, she looks quite nice there. I'm just going to ink up this little flower that I cut out as well. Might get rid of that leaf. It was just kind of in the way, really. Wonder if I want to get rid of that one as well. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. So we're going to have her like that, and I'm going to have a little bit of lace, I think, coming out just to one side. So let's just trim that down. Yeah, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Yep, like how that looks. Now, just before I glue that down, do I want to ink this? It's a little bit wet and soggy still. That's kind of what's stopping me from inking at the moment, just because it's obviously a little bit too wet and soggy. Okay, the perils of doing this, you know, on video, because you know, you don't always have time to let things dry. Well, I mean, I could stop the video, I guess, and wait, but there's not really that much time to do things like that. So right, just pop that down there, and then I'm going to pop her just on top like that. Okay, just using my Fabri-Tac, because obviously I'm going on to the lace, you know, the lace and the paper, so that's why I'm using that. Okay, she's on there now. Looks pretty. Okie doke. So I'm going to have that flower there. Now I'm just wondering whether I may like a book plate or something, or because we're obviously using some freebies, perhaps I could use one of my free dictionary definitions. So I'm just having a look. Oh, where are they? Where are they? I have used them recently, so I know they're here somewhere, but of course they're now buried and hiding. Okay, right. Okay, well, I might not be able to use those because I can't see them. I did just see these. So here I've just got some stamped words. I've got the word beautiful. Just going to cut that out. Oops. Okay. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So I might have that like that. So let's just, again, just ink this up. I mean, it is on that craft coloured card anyway, so how much that's really going to be needing inking is beyond me. But now, do we want that on a bit of lace, or is that fine on its own? Let's have a look. Oh, everything's better on lace, isn't it? Everything's always better with a bit of lace. So we'll just put some lace around there. Oops. Just going to glue that down. Just going to use my hot glue for this. And then the hot glue, you know, it will go straight through that lace. And so therefore holds, you know, the word and the lace in place. like that. Okay, and then we've got the flower. So I'm going to put the flower down there. Again, I'm just going to hot glue that down because it's really nice and quick, and obviously it does give that little bit of texture, which I quite like. So there we go. Okay, I like how that looks. Now, do we want any sort of postage stamp or anything? Not that one. Definitely not that one, I think. Let's just have a quick look through. It's a bit red, isn't it? Okay, perhaps not. Perhaps I can't really find the ideal one. Okay, so I'm still really waiting for this to dry before I can actually sort of grunge this up at all. So I'd best just kind of leave that. But we can go on to the inside now. And then what we can do is just make a couple of kind of pockets or flaps or, you know, some bits of interest inside. So let's have a look and just see what I've got laying around. Got a little envelope here. I mean, this just happened to be laying around on the floor. So just pulled that in and let's have a look. See what else we've got. No, we don't want to use that. Right. Let's try. I think I might try mixing this with some coffee dyed paper. Might be quite nice. So yeah, just having a quick check, seeing what else we might like. But I probably will be putting some lace across here just to reinforce that spine. Well, the fold anyway. So I just leave that there whilst I just, you know, get a feel for that. And I'm just going to pull in some coffee dyed paper. Okay. So I'm wondering if we could make a little kind of foldy pocket. So just folding my paper straight over like that. And then all I'm going to do is just trim it down on the edge. Like that. And I'm thinking, so probably not for that envelope. But I'm thinking, could that go there? And then it's like an opening and it's a pocket, which I quite like. Yeah, I quite like that. So, okay, I'm going to get rid of this lace because I'm not 100% sure that I want to use that. Let's just glue this straight away down. Okay, so I just glue that down on 3 edges, but making sure that the folded edge hasn't got the glue. So like that. And the good thing is when you do pockets like this, you know, because they've got that folded edge there, that's quite robust as a pocket then. You know, it's quite strong because obviously it's doubled over. You know, effectively it's a doubled over piece. Okay, squish that down like that. Okay, and then we want something on this side as well. So let's have a look here. I'm thinking we could do 2 pockets. I mean, this is just flukily, this is, you know, just the right size. So that just couldn't have gone any better, to be honest. So I'll just squash that down. Okay. So again, just check where my fold is because I don't want that going right up to the fold. But of course I do want it, you know, going more or less to the edges, if you see what I mean. So I'm just going to then glue this down And again, I'm going to glue it down to the actual base, like that. And then I'm going to glue down the pocket as well. So that's the first bit, like that. Squish that down, like that. Okay, and then I want to obviously take up my other bits to make the pocket as well. So one there and one there. Okay. Okie dokie, right. Press those down. They're a little bit resistant to wanting to glue down, so got to be a bit patient. Yours might be fine. I think the gesso kind of makes it a little bit harder to stick sometimes, but so that's those. And then I'm just going to open it up and I'm going to do something similar on this side as well. So let me just grab some more coffee dyed paper. Okay, just wanted to get the right thickness. And I'm just going to grab also maybe an envelope or two. So I've got a couple of craft coloured envelopes, and I've also got a couple of coffee dyed envelopes. So we'll just see how these go. So let's have a look. I love the shape of these envelopes. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm wondering if I could have this tucked into our top flap or our top pocket like that, and then have, you know, maybe a pocket or two under here as well. Oh, these are cards, not envelopes. Okay. Oh, again, they're pretty good width for that page, actually. So if that were tucked in there, just wondering if I could have, or again, a foldy up piece there. That's also a pocket, and then actually, I'm just thinking, do you know what? I saw the other day on, it was on Tonya Samuels, on her YouTube channel. She did this absolutely awesome piece with like a sort of closure across the two. I would love to do something like that, I think, on this section. So let's just have a look. Right, don't necessarily want to do that because that's the entire piece then hidden, which of course it was nice seeing that paper. And that's obviously got that fold. Right, let's just have a look. Oh, wishing that I had double-sided these papers, because they would have been a lot better double-sided. Now, trying to think what she used. She used something from a die cut, you know, some die cut pieces. I don't know really that I've got any ideal die cut shaped pieces. I do have, however, my scallop punch. So let me just pull that in. It's a 3-inch scallop punch, which actually would be pretty good, I think. So now what I could do is just use some coffee dyed paper or something. Oh, this is so annoying. I'm really wishing that I had double-sided those. Oh, I'm just being really lazy because I can't be bothered to actually go back downstairs and reprint them. Which is just terrible, isn't it? But or I could have the flaps in like coffee dyed. Let's just have a look. Oh, let's just give this a try and see how this looks. Okay. So there's one, and then I'm just going to do another one. Okay, right. Okay, so she did this kind of really clever mechanism where she took her pieces and then say folded them, let's say, in half. I'm not going to quite fold mine in half, but you know, similarly. So that's going to be down, that's going to be up. So hang on. Right, okay, so I want to now fold this one kind of similar-ish distance up like that. Okay, probably should squish that down with my bone folder just because they probably need to lay, you know, semi-flat, I think. So like that. And then what she did, and to be fair, I was going to cut this open so as it was just one, but actually there's no reason why this couldn't be an opening piece. Ah, yes, like that. How cool is that? And then these two open in between, which is cool, isn't it? So I'm just going to ink these up. Like I say, it's a bit of a shame that I hadn't double-sided these, but you know, never mind, they're going to hopefully be fine inked up. So just like that. Okay, just ink around there. And then this side as well. Obviously I don't need to ink the other side because it's going to be glued down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is glue that one there, like that. Okay, that's glued there. And then just slide that across a little bit, okay. And then the other one, obviously at the bottom. So I want them roughly in the same sort of place. So again, I will check that when I turn it back over. Okay, well they look pretty parallelly, don't they? So, yep, okay. Glue that down. Okay, they look cute, don't they? So I'm thinking then she just had her couple of circles for her, you know, windy bits of string. Now I'm thinking baker's twine in what colour? Oh, maybe brown. Let's just have a look. I've got that reddy colour. Well, it's aubergine really. Or I've got this brown, which I'm thinking would be nice. I think the brown. Yep. Okay. So just take a couple of circles and just get some brads. Now, I'm not sure whether she may have used eyelets for hers. It was a few weeks ago that I saw her doing that. She may have used eyelets. Now, do I dare use these really rich, bright flowers, or... Oh, let's just go for those. I mean, we can always take them out and change them, can't we? The last time I used those, I did take them out because they were just too much. but let's give them a try. Just check. Actually, I think I prefer the coffee dyed circles. So, okay, just going to have that one there. So I'll just then push a hole into that. Oops. Okay. Then just pop my brad in. Oops. Oh my goodness, I can't see at all. Come on, come on, spread out. Okay, right, yep, squish that brad down eventually. Oh gosh, hideous knot in the middle circle there. Oh well, never mind. Right, and just got another coffee dyed one there. So we'll just then again ink that up around the edge. Okay. And again, just put that hole in. Oops. Like that. Oops. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness, this is so fiddly. Okay, right. Got there eventually. Okay, and then I'm going to just round the corners on my, my base piece. Like that. And I'm just going to ink that a little bit on those corners. Okay. Now I'm just going to ink up my twine. I know it is brown, but I just want it to look not quite so bright, because obviously it's brown and white, which the white looks very, very bright. So I'll just ink that up a little bit. Okay. Whoops. Okay, and then all I want to do is just tie this around one. So just tie that there. Like that one. And then the other one, oops, a bit fiddly. And then obviously they will just then wind around between the two pieces. Okay, and I will just trim that down there. Oh, that's so cute, isn't it? So that one, I'm just deciding which side I want that, whether I want it this side here or whether I want it this side. But I've also, I mustn't forget, I've got that envelope. Whoops. Sorry, my twine was then just rolling off the desk. So I've got that envelope, which of course I want tucked in here as well. So that may persuade me. I mean, to be fair, I could have this here, like that. It's quite sweet, isn't it? Yeah, I might do that instead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just line my envelope with some paper so as to strengthen that. So I'll just trim that down. Okay. Like that, and across here. So this is just to strengthen it, because obviously it's going to be, you know, folding up and down. I just want it strengthened slightly. Okay. Down there. going to tuck in. Ooh, it's a very tight fit. It's a very tight fit, but I guess that's what we want, isn't it? A tight fit. So let's just glue that down. Okay, oops. Squish that into there. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, come on. I always find this very tricky. I mean, actually, this was one of my absolute hated things. When I first started doing journals, I found lining envelopes one of the most tricky things. I don't know whether that's just me or whether other people find that too, but I thought I'd really improved, but clearly not, judging by today. Sometimes goes better than others. I think I'd actually cut that not really quite narrow enough to have a really comfortable, you know, access. Okie dokie, right. And of course you just want to then make sure that your fold is, you know, nice and kind of neat. So again, just go round the flap, and obviously that flap's going to be glued into the other flap anyway, so chop that down like that, and that's going to tuck into here like that. So I mean, technically you're not really going to see that paper, you're just, you know, all I was trying to do was strengthen where the envelope's going to fold. Okay, so I'm going to have that like that. Now the only other thing that I wouldn't mind doing is having something here as like a little pocket or something. So let's try this. I'll just cut that down. Oops. Okay. Nice in there, isn't it? But I'm just wondering whether I could have this as like another pocket, maybe to the side. It's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Now I wouldn't mind some book page coming out maybe behind it, so okay. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? And then I wonder if we should have some more decorative paper for some more, you know, well, more decorative elements, I guess. So just tear that one down. Yeah, quite like that. So I'm just going to glue this down. Oops, wrong glue. Okie dokie, and we'll just glue this down like that. And then we'll just, oops, glue this one down. I'll just put that one where it's going to go, so as I see roughly where I want that glue. Glue? Book page. Like that. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? And then I'm just wondering, do we want any sort of lace or anything like that around here? So let's just check. That went a bit lower down. Well, I guess we could have that a bit higher. Okay, let's just have that with a little bit of lace hanging out. Just sort of like that, I think. A bit lower, maybe. Or maybe it needs to be this way round. Sorry. Just sometimes takes a while, doesn't it, to quite decide. Right, what I'm going to do is just ink up this page. I know I haven't really inked anything yet because obviously it was wet, but hopefully it's drier or dry enough now to be able to start inking some bits up. So like that. Around the book page, down the side. Okay, like that. And I will just ink this up as well. And then I'm just going to see what I want to have on that, this thing. Now I've got a building here. Just going to cut that out. So I might want to have that there. It's quite nice, isn't it? And then do we want that backed onto some pink paper, or do we want it backed onto something like book page? Let's have a look. Oops. Ooh, come on, slide and... Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like how that looks, I think. Right, so I'm just going to unwind this because, of course, it's going to be a bit easier to glue things in without that actually attached. So let's just ink this up first prior to gluing it down. Okay, and we'll just then pop that on down. Like that. Oops. Not sure whether I have just put that upside down. I can't really see. Oh, I don't know now whether I've put that upside down or not, to be honest. Oh well. It's always a problem, isn't it? If you can't read music, you know, you haven't obviously got a clue what way you're sticking things down. Oh, okay, right. So that's quite nice, isn't it? And then I do quite like this. I'm just not sure. Not sure. I've got some lace here. Oh, it's very, very yellow, that one. So that's quite, not quite right. I've got this, which is some coffee dyed lace, which is much more delicate looking. That might be better. Right. Okay, I'm just going to trim a little bit of this off and get rid of that header piece. And I'm going to get rid of the header, I think, from both sides. Oops. I love it when you do this because then the lace becomes all, you know, fragile and frayed looking. It just, I don't know, seems to look much better, I think. Okay. Probably anyone who doesn't make junk journals would look at that lace and think, what's she talking about? She's just literally taken some lace and wrecked it. Hopefully you guys kind of see where I'm coming from with that. Oh, that's quite nice. Wasn't going to kind of put that over the top, but I think it looks quite pretty actually. Or do we want that like that? I'm still wondering whether I need some sort of postage stamp on here. Got that red one. I mean, it's not really quite the right colour, is it? It's, yeah, I think it would be better with brown or something. Let me just pull in my brownish stamps. Okay. That one's not too bad. Could even have it on there. Oops. Oh, this is so tricky. Just can't decide now. Sorry, I will have to make a decision in a minute because, my gosh, we are just going to be here all day, aren't we? Right, I definitely do like the lace, I think, across the top. I think that looks pretty. So let's just glue the lace down across the top. Okie dokie, again just using my fabric tack. So as that glues down nicely. Woo! Or glues on me anyway, one or the other. Oh, I don't know which way up I want the lace now. Probably this way, I think. Okay, so that's the lace. Going to have this here, and then I think I do want some sort of lace here, so I'm just going to again just bring in that lace, which actually this end I've actually already taken that header tape off. Let's just chop a little bit down. Maybe some coming out from the house there. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, I like how that looks, I think. So I'm just going to rough that house up a little bit, or that building anyway, so it's not quite so rough, quite so smooth, sorry. It will be rough, but so it's not quite so smooth. Okay. That's going to just go there. So again, I'm just going to hot glue this down nice and quick. And hopefully as well, that will just touch onto that lace and hold the lace in place. Like that, okay. And then of course I can just, you know, dab some glue here in a couple of the solid-y type bits and just stick that lace down as well. Okay. Yeah, so that's looking quite pretty. I don't know whether these bright flowers are spoiling this for me. Trying to be good and use them. And I still can't decide about this piece. So yeah, it's a bit annoying that I still can't decide about that piece. So on here, I still haven't put any pockets down. So we've got obviously our envelope that we're going to glue down here. So again, just before I glue that down, I'm just going to ink this all up. Just because it's obviously going to be easier to ink it up now before I actually glue the envelope down. Okay. And obviously I'm just going to glue the envelope here on the flap, and just then have the flap obviously tucked in. So like that. And then just tuck that in just there like that, okay? Hopefully that's tucked in enough. Press it down, and then I'm going to just open it up whilst it dries. Only because if I leave it closed, no doubt I will actually have glued the envelope, you know, down. So just by having it open just is a bit more helpful. Right, I still don't know what to put here. This is just now dragging on and on, isn't it? So yeah, I do apologise. Gosh, this is so annoying. I just don't know. Unless we just have another couple of pockets like we did on the other side, but that seems pretty boring, doesn't it? Let's have something more opening out, shall we? So let me just get another envelope. Hold on. Oh, dear. Right, I've got the craft coloured envelopes. So again, that's quite nice because it obviously picks up this piece here on the facing page. And I'm thinking, oh, it's too wide there. But we could have that envelope glued down here. Like that. Yeah, I quite like how that is. Okay, now these envelopes, these are quite robust actually, so I don't think I really even need to reinforce this one. Which you're probably all thinking, oh, thank goodness she doesn't need to reinforce that. It's something less for you to have to watch. Okay. So just, oops, pop that down like that. And again, then I'm just going to make sure that that fold, you know, still operates and I haven't kind of gone over the fold or anything like that. Okay. Oh, I'm now thinking perhaps I needed a coffee dyed pocket over here. I think maybe that's the one. So I'm just going to cut out kind of a very similar size piece to what was there. Like that. And when I say similar size, sorry, in case you're thinking, well, that's not similar size at all. I thought, oh, I'll do it a little bit bigger. So, yeah, although it is similar size, it is, of course, bigger. Okay. Yeah, I think it kind of benefits from being a little bit larger, actually. So I've got my envelope here. And then we'll have this as a pocket. So on that pocket, what are we going to have on there? Just see what else I've got. Oops. Okay, let's go for this one. Okay, just trim that down. Get rid of those out the way. So yeah, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So again, I'm just going to rough this up a little bit. Like that. And then of course I'll just ink that up. Okay. Now, do we want to make this a little bit smaller still, or is that okay? I think that's actually okay. So just going to glue this down. Again, I'm just going to glue it actually on 3 sides, so that if we want that to be a pocket, it can be. Like that. Okay. Okay, so that will go in here. And this one down there. Okay, so I like how that looks, finally. Finally, I hear you say. And then we can just have the postage stamp. I'm not still 100% sure about that postage stamp, to be honest, but I feel I must just make a decision, so just going to go for that. Otherwise I will literally be here the entire day. Okay, like that. Okie dokie, right. Now I'm going to glue this one down as a pocket. So again, just on the 3 sides. And we just want it to tuck slightly underneath there. Not too much. Oops. Not too much, but just a bit. Okay, and that's going to go on there like that. Now I have to say, these brads are just not really working for me. I can't stand looking at them. Yeah, they're going to have to come out. So yeah, I just can't bear it. I wanted to be adventurous, and I thought let's mix it up, but they are just, I don't like them at all. Well, I love them as brads. I think they're just lovely, but I can't seem to use them, or can't seem to get them in the right place to use them. So I'm just going to swap them out for brown ones. I'm hoping that the brown ones are going to be good. If they're not, then I'm going to have to just be really dull and boring and just go with those usual sort of brassy type ones that I go for normally. I mean, at first I thought, well, it's just because I'm not really used to these vibrant colours, but when you then can't really stand looking at the page, it becomes a bit of an issue, doesn't it? Okay, well, I'm preferring the brown ones. I'm not 100%, but definitely I'm preferring them. So let's just put this one in. Oops. Oh, come on. Okay, right. Squish that down and just then, oops. Oh, come on now, I can't wind the twine around. My gosh, what a day I'm having. Right, it might be time to go and get a cup of tea in a minute, because I think I'm losing the ability to craft here. So yeah, might be tea time. Okay, that looks miles better without those, you know, bright pink brads, I think. So yeah, much happier with that, I think. Okay, let's just glue this down. I'm just going to hot glue this down because it's lovely and quick, and that's what I need right now, is just something nice and quick. So again, just go down, pop that on there like that. Okay. Okay, right. Moving along now from the brads. Okay, right. So on this side, we're going to have this, and then underneath here, I'm going to just do, I think, another pocket or so. Yeah, and that's going to kind of lay over there like that. So this one I might just put on some book page. Might have to have it sideways on to manage to get it covered with the text. Yeah, I might have to have it sideways. It doesn't really matter, does it? Okay. Okie dokie, and then I'm just going to trim that out and rough that up on the edges. Okay, and down here, and across there. Okay, right. Oops, just roughing this around, obviously making a pretty shoddy job of that, but never mind. Okay, well I did say I wanted grungy after all, so hopefully that's looking pretty grungy now. So again, just ink that up, including the obviously book page. Yeah, okay, so that's going to go there. Now I could do some stamping or something on here, might be quite nice. Let me just have a look and see. Got my tape measure stamp here. I think that's going to be too small. Yeah, I think that was going to be too small, and it might just then look really strange. Oh, perhaps we won't. Right, I'm just having a look to the side of me. Got this frame on this coffee dye paper. Wow, that would look awesome somewhere on here, wouldn't it? Now I haven't decided where, but somewhere on here that would look really cool. So let's just trim that out. Not the best to cut out, this frame, pretty ornate. But that said, the thing that is quite good about it is, just like the flowers, nobody really knows what it actually looked like in the first place. So if you, either by accidentally or, you know, if you have to cut things off because they're just way too fiddly, then of course that's fine, because nobody really knows what kind of shape it was in the first place. Okay. Okie dokie, right, nearly done. Oh, I love that frame. I don't know where it's going to go, but wow, I love it. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe the frame on that envelope behind, although it looked pretty cool on there too, didn't it? Okay, perhaps I'll have it like this. Okay, so I've just moved this down here, and I'm going to have the frame, I think, on here. Okay, so I might call it quits there for now. If I get a chance, I will come back and do some more, and, you know, we'll have a kind of two-parter. But I don't know whether I'm going to get a chance to do that. So I hope that you like the background papers, and hopefully it's, you know, a nice little project for you to do in this festive period. And I hope you all are having a super lovely Christmas. So thank you so much for watching, and stay safe, and happy Christmas, everyone. Thanks then. Bye.